I'm Grace. The bright lights of the operating room were blinding as I stood over the surgical table, my hands steady as I performed a coronary artery bypass on my brother Ethan. It was a high-stakes operation, and the weight of the situation was heavy on my shoulders. The beeping of the monitors filled the air, a constant reminder of the life hanging in the balance. As I worked, I couldn't help but flash back to the countless family dinners where Ethan had mocked my career choice. He was 38, a successful real estate mogul, while I had spent years in medical school and residency, facing their constant doubt. I grew up in a well-to-do family in a quiet suburban neighborhood. My father, Henry, was a conservative banker who valued stability and practicality above all else. My mother, Elizabeth, was a homemaker, gentle-natured but easily influenced by my father's opinions. Ethan, for years older than me, had always been the golden child, effortlessly achieving success in the business world. When I was 19, I sat at the kitchen table, surrounded by my college acceptance letters. I had been accepted into pre-med, a dream I had held since I was a child. Ethan, who was 23 at the time and finishing his business degree at a prestigious university, laughed as he read over my shoulder. "That's a stretch for someone who had to work so hard in high school biology," he scoffed. I had gotten A++ in biology, but I knew I had the passion and determination to succeed in medicine. I tried to explain this to him, but he just grabbed an apple from the counter and said, "Medical school is for the naturally gifted, not those who have to study all night just to pass." My father, looking up from his newspaper, agreed. "Ethan has a point, Grace. Medical school is extremely competitive. Have you considered a more practical career, like accounting?" My mother, stirring a pot on the stove, nodded in agreement. "Your cousin, Lily, is an accountant. She loves it. Good pay, stable hours." But I was firm. "I want to be a surgeon," I said. The kitchen fell silent, except for the sound of my mother's wooden spoon scraping the pot. Ethan broke the silence with a laugh. "A surgeon? Grace, do you have any idea how long it takes? How much it costs? And how competitive it is?" I told him I had a full scholarship to a good medical school, but he just dismissed it. "It's not an Ivy League school. It won't open the same doors." That conversation set the tone for the next decade. As I progressed through medical school, Ethan was building his real estate empire. At family dinners, he would brag about his latest deals, while I would sit quietly, listening to him mock my long hours and student debt. "I'll be making millions while you're still drowning in debt," he would say. My parents never contradicted him. They would give me an apologetic smile and change the subject. "Ethan just closed another big deal," my mother would say. 3 luxury condos downtown." "That's wonderful," I would reply, cutting my food into small pieces. My father would then ask, "And how's your internship going?" The word internship would sound uncertain in his mouth, as if he still didn't fully understand what I was doing. "It's good. Challenging," I would say. Ethan would lean back in his chair and say, "Still thinking about that surgeon thing? Or have you realized it's out of your league?" I learned not to respond. The worst part wasn't Ethan's mockery, it was my parents' silence. They never said I wasn't good enough directly, but they never defended me either. By the time I was 32, Ethan's real estate company was booming. He had a mansion in the suburbs, a fancy car, and a beautiful wife, Amelia, who was expecting their first child. I, on the other hand, lived in a small apartment near the hospital, drove an old car, and spent most of my time in scrubs. One Sunday, my mother said, "Grace, honey, Ethan mentioned his company is looking for administrative staff. Office work, good benefits. Maybe it's time to consider a change." I told her I was happy where I was, but my father gently said, "You're 32 now. Still in training. Don't you want some stability?" Amelia touched my hand and said, "There's no shame in admitting medical school wasn't the right fit. Lots of people realize they're not cut out for it." I replied, "I'm exactly where I need to be." Ethan shook his head. "Pride. That's all this is. You're too stubborn to admit you should have listened to us 10 years ago. They had no idea that I had been promoted to the chief of cardiothoracic surgery at St. Mary's Medical Center 6 months earlier. They didn't know that my research on a new heart valve replacement technique had been published in a top medical journal. They didn't know that I was being courted by some of the most prestigious hospitals in the country. On a cold and gray Thanksgiving, I had worked a double shift the night before, performing an emergency repair on a patient with a severe heart condition. Exhausted, I arrived at my parents' house. Ethan's shiny Mercedes was parked in the driveway next to my father's sedan. My old car looked shabby in comparison. Grace, my mother opened the door and pulled me into a hug that smelled like turkey and disappointment. We were worried you'd have to work. I made it, I said. Ethan was in the living room, holding court with our relatives, talking about his latest development project. 50 luxury apartments downtown. Isn't that impressive? He said. Very, I replied. I found him on the sofa, tie loosened, gesturing with a glass of whiskey. Amelia sat beside him, 8 months pregnant, glowing with contentment. And the return on investment should hit 25% in the first year, he was saying to our Uncle Robert and Aunt Lily. Incredible, Uncle Robert said. Aunt Lily noticed me. Grace, how's the hospital? Good, I said. Still doing the nursing thing? Uncle Robert asked. I'm not she's in surgery, Ethan interrupted, making air quotes around surgery. Training. So, at 32. Everyone nodded sympathetically. It takes a long time, Aunt Lily said kindly. But it's rewarding work. I've been a nurse for 25 years now. Ethan clarified, Grace isn't actually a surgeon yet. She's like an assistant. Right, Grace? You hand instruments to the real surgeons. Something like that, I said. Amelia patted the sofa. Come sit. Tell us about it. Must be so exciting being in the operating room. Even if you're not the one actually doing the surgery. I sat down. It's fine. Just fine? Ethan laughed. Grace, you've spent 12 years of your life on this. It should be more than fine. It's rewarding, I said. But you're still not actually a doctor, right? Still in training, he said. My father, joining us from the kitchen, asked, how long is the training period for surgery? It depends on the specialty, I said. Ethan told my father, she won't give a straight answer because she knows it sounds ridiculous. What are you, 32 now? Still a student. I said, I'm not a student. Resident, student, whatever. Still learning, still supervised, still not trusted to do anything important on my own. Amelia squeezed his arm. Ethan, don't be mean. I'm not being mean. I'm being honest. Grace needs to hear this. She's wasted her 20s chasing something that clearly isn't working out, he said. He then turned to me. How much debt are you in? $250,000? And what's your salary as a resident? $60,000? I made that in a month last year. Aunt Lily tried to redirect the conversation. Different careers have different paths. But Ethan continued, real doctors need talent, natural ability. You've always had to work twice as hard as everyone else just to keep up. Remember high school? Remember college? You were never the naturally gifted one, Grace. My mother appeared in the doorway. Dinner's almost ready. Ethan said, I'm just trying to help. Someone needs to tell her the truth. Accounting would suit her better. It's still a good career, still stable. I stood up. I'll help set the table. Ethan called after me, running away from honest feedback. That's always been your problem. In the kitchen, my mother handed me plates. He means well. He just worries about you. Does he? I said. You've been in school a very long time, honey, she said. Medical training takes time, I replied. She lowered her voice. Don't you ever wonder if maybe he's right? If maybe you're forcing something that isn't meant to be? I set the plates down carefully. No, because there's no shame in what I do. I'm exactly what I set out to be. She looked confused but didn't push further. Dinner was the usual performance. Ethan talked about his business expansion plans, Amelia talked about baby names, and my father discussed his golf game. My mother praised Ethan's success and worried aloud about my future. Grace should meet someone, Aunt Lily suggested. Maybe through the hospital. Doctors must meet lots of people. Ethan corrected, she's not technically a doctor yet. I said quietly, I am technically a doctor. You know what I mean. Not a real doctor. Not independent, he replied. I said, I have an MD. And 12 years later, you're still acting like I'm a medical student. That's not the same as being a real attending physician. I cut my turkey into precise pieces. My father asked, how much longer until you're finished? I'm done with residency, I said. My mother brightened. So, you'll finally be a real doctor now? I've been a real doctor for 8 years, I said. Ethan laughed. Technically, on paper. But you're not trusted to work independently yet, right? Still supervised. Just then, my phone buzzed. Then again. Then continuously. I glanced down. It was say. Mary's emergency room. Multiple calls. Work emergency, I said, standing up. See, Ethan gestured with his fork. This is your life. Called away from Thanksgiving because someone actually important needs you to assist with something. I stepped into the hallway and answered the phone. Dr. Grace, we have a situation, said Dr. Thompson, the ER attending. His voice was tight. A 38-year-old male, acute MI, unstable. Needs emergency cath. Dr. Lee is in surgery, Dr. Davis is unreachable, and Dr. Wilson is out of town for the holiday. My mind immediately shifted into professional mode. Vitals. BP 90/60, HR 120, ST elevation in multiple leads. We've started treatment, but he's deteriorating. We need you, he said. I'm 20 minutes out. Prep or 2. Call my team. Get cardiology up there for support. I'll be there in 15, I said. Already done, he replied. Then he paused. The patient's name is Ethan. My blood went cold. What? He came in complaining of chest pain about 10 minutes ago. His wife is with him. They said he has a sister named Grace. I hung up and walked back to the dining room. Everyone was laughing at something Ethan had said. Ethan, I said quietly. He looked up, annoyed. What? How do you feel? Fine. Why? Have you had any chest pain today? Just indigestion. Amelia's been making me eat healthier, he said, patting his stomach. I'm fine. Any pain in your left arm? Shortness of breath? I asked. He frowned. My arm's been a little tingly, but I probably slept on it wrong. Why are you? We need to go to the hospital. Now, I said. What? It's Thanksgiving. I'm fine, he said. Ethan, I think you're having a heart attack, I said. The room went silent. Then Ethan laughed. A heart attack? I'm 38. I'm healthy. This is ridiculous. The symptoms you're describing are nothing. You're being dramatic. Ethan, please, I said. No, he said, turning to my mother. This is exactly what I was talking about. She's been playing doctor for so long she actually thinks she can diagnose people at Thanksgiving dinner. Amelia touched his arm. Honey, your arm has been hurting. It's nothing. Grace is just trying to feel important, he said. My phone rang again. I answered it. Dr. Grace, where are you? Dr. Thompson's voice was urgent. Wait. There's confusion here. We have Ethan in the ER, but his wife says his sister Grace is at Thanksgiving dinner with him. You have a different Ethan? I closed my eyes. I'm coming. I hung up and looked at Ethan. His face had gone slightly gray. Ethan, there's a man in the emergency room at St. Mary's Medical Center. He has your name, your address, and apparently your ID. They've been calling me because I'm listed as his emergency contact. The color drained further from his face. That's impossible. My wallet's right. He patted his pockets. His eyes widened. I can't find it. Did you go anywhere this morning? Amelia asked, worried. Just to the gym. Early, before the gym traffic. I came straight home and then we came here. His breathing was getting faster. I'm sure I had it when I left the gym. Maybe I dropped it in the parking lot. I said steadily, Ethan, I need you to listen carefully. Either there's someone using your identity in the ER right now, or you're about to need emergency medical attention. Either way, we need to go. This is insane. I feel fine. It's just, he gasped suddenly, his hand going to his chest. It's just indigestion. But his face was sweating, and his lips had a faint blue tinge. Amelia stood up, frightened. We should go. I'm not going to the hospital on Thanksgiving because Grace wants to play doctor, Ethan insisted, but his voice was weak. Dad, get your keys. Now, I said. My father started, now, wait a minute, now, I said, and something in my voice made him move. Ethan tried to stand and stumbled. I caught him. Okay, he breathed. Okay, maybe I don't feel great. We got him to my father's car. I sat in the back with Ethan, monitoring his pulse, watching his breathing. My mother called Amelia to follow us in her car. This is embarrassing. It's going to be nothing. Acid reflux or something, Ethan muttered. Probably, I agreed, counting his heartbeats. They were too fast and too irregular. You're going to look ridiculous when they send me home, he said. I hope so, I replied. We pulled up to the ER entrance at St. Mary's. I helped Ethan out of the car, and two nurses immediately approached with a wheelchair. Are you Dr. Grace? One asked. Yes, I said. We've been calling. There was confusion about the patient. This is Ethan. He's experiencing chest pain, left arm pain, diaphoresis, and shortness of breath. He needs immediate evaluation. They moved quickly, wheeling him through the doors. Ethan looked back at me, suddenly scared. Grace. I'm right here, I said. We entered the ER, and I saw Dr. Thompson rushing toward us. Dr. Grace, thank God. We have her two ready for, he stopped, staring at Ethan in the wheelchair. Wait, this is your brother? Long story. What's his status? I asked. We haven't finished the evaluation yet. He just arrived, he said. No. What's the status of the other Ethan you called about? I asked. Dr. Thompson's face went confused. Other? Dr. Grace, you're the emergency contact for Ethan. There's only one. This one. The nurses were already moving, attaching monitors, starting in 4. The machines began beeping. Acute MI, the lead nurse said, reading the monitor. ST elevation, anterolateral. Ethan's eyes found mine. He looked terrified. Dr. Thompson was barking orders. Get cardiology down here. Page the on-call surgical team. I'm already here, I said quietly. He stared at me. You're on call tonight? I'm on call every night. I'm the chief of cardiothoracic surgery, I said. The ER went silent except for the monitors. Ethan made a choking sound that wasn't from his heart attack. Dr. Grace, Dr. Thompson recovered quickly. He's going to need emergency bypass surgery. Multiple vessel disease from the looks of it. I looked at the monitors, the readings confirming what I already knew. Massive heart attack. Critical blockages. Without immediate surgery, Ethan would die within hours. Prep or two. Call my team. And someone paged Dr. Wilson from cardiology to assist, I said. Dr. Wilson is in Florida with his family, Dr. Thompson said. I know. Call him anyway. He'll want to know, I replied. The nurses were already moving, rolling Ethan toward the surgical wing. Grace, Ethan's voice was small. What's happening? I walked beside the gurney, keeping my voice calm. You're having a serious heart attack, Ethan. Multiple blockages in your coronary arteries. You need bypass surgery, and you need it now. But you're not actually. I'm the chief of cardiothoracic surgery at this hospital. I've been the chief for 6 months. Before that, I was an attending surgeon here for 2 years. Before that, I completed my residency and fellowship in cardiothoracic surgery, I said. His face was white. Chief? Yes. I'm going to save your life, I said.